It's different strategies amongst the top three, and it's lights out, and away we go. So Hamilton gets away well, as does Max Verstappen this week, but Valtteri Bottas is already ahead of him, and Daniel Ricciardo slots into fourth, and Esteban Ocon has made up places from the start as well. It's a long run down towards turn two, plenty of time to sort themselves out. Bottas is going round the outside of Lewis Hamilton, but he has to go wide, and that's the Red Bull there that goes straight on at Max Verstappen, and he's not the only one. Carlos Sainz, who was involved in a first lap accident in Mugello, has gone through the bollards and has spun round as well. It's Hamilton who leads from Bottas, Ricciardo, Verstappen. Ricciardo has made up a place behind them. Oh, and it's a mistake by Lance Stroll. He got onto the curb and Stroll is out of the race and into the barriers. And we have had incidents on the first lap here in Sochi. We have had safety cars here in the last 3 of the last 4 years on the first lap. I wonder if we're going to get one now, or can they recover that racing point?
Max has recovered back into third place, probably ahead of Ricciardo. Terrible opening lap for both McLaren. Safety car has come out. Both McLarens now at the end of this train of cars. So that has been a terrible opening lap for them. Perez as well made a bad start.
Well, we saw Carlos Sainz going through the bollards as he came onto the track. We've talked about it all weekend long as to how tight and tricky that chicane is for the drivers, and it obviously was a lot trickier for Carlos Sainz than he really wanted.
That is a tighter path than the drivers expect. That wall makes it extraordinarily tight. What a crunch that was.
I'm sorry, guys. Really sorry.
Carlos has been kicking himself because he's been through that path through practice. He knew exactly where the wall was.
Yeah.
Oh, he has taken a whack, hasn't he? So it's hard to tell, obviously, from that angle who it was, who he made contact with. And unfortunately, we were looking at Stroll, but that's where Max got ahead as well.
I just got ahead.
Lewis Hamilton has a 5-second time penalty for a practice start violation. He's got a violation 1, and a violation 2 has now come up as well for another 5-second time penalty for Lewis Hamilton. I've never seen this before, where there are 2 practice start violations. So that should mean then 10 seconds added to Lewis Hamilton's race time. Meanwhile, there's all manner of action going on right at the back of the grid, involving Alex Albon, George Russell and Lando Norris. Norris is ahead of Russell, but Russell is a fast thing in a straight line, as you can see, with the Williams. And now Albon and Norris are going wheel to wheel, and Norris is now starting to struggle. He started that main straight as the lead car of this trio, and he's now at the back, but for how much longer? Because he's going to try down the inside at turn 3. Here comes Lando Norris. Alex Albon staying just ahead as Norris goes a little bit wider than he would have wanted, but Russell down in 16th place is now ahead, or still ahead, of Alex Albon now, with Lando Norris starting to slip back a bit.
Oh, big lock up there for George Russell, going very deep down at turn 13. We've seen drivers struggling all weekend long. Gives the opportunity to Albon to drive around him at 14. So a little mistake there from George Russell.
Lando Norris with DRS is blasting past George Russell, who now finds himself at the back of the pack down in 18th place, and Norris now up into 17th. Here comes Sergio Perez, but he's a lot closer on this particular lap, and he's going to have to go the long way around the outside at turn 2. Ricciardo positions his Renault very nicely indeed, and doesn't go deep enough to allow Perez to make the old switcheroo, but Perez now fighting him on the inside through turn 3. Has he got ahead by the time they put the brakes on into turn 4? The answer is a resounding yes for Sergio Perez.
They do the 10 seconds now. He's going to come out so close with Daniel after the stop. That is critical for him. He's got to come out ahead of Daniel for getting through the pack later on.
Daniel Ricciardo is at turn 13 at the end of the back straight. The 10-second penalty has been served. The hard compound tyres are on. He's going to get DRS and is going to try and get past Sebastian Vettel down this straight as well, as Ocon now accelerating out into the sunshine. He comes and out onto the racetrack, and Ocon is ahead of Hamilton, and Hamilton is ahead. Oh, Ocon is behind Hamilton, and Hamilton is ahead of Sebastian Vettel. So Hamilton gets that move done, and I think crucially is ahead as well of the Renault that has now pitted.
Well, you stopped me so early, I have to manage now. Struggle to make it to the end.
Verstappen, 39.9.
No, I don't want to aim for any more, but it doesn't make any difference.
Just wants to make his point, doesn't want the defence coming back at him.
Do have a 5-second penalty for the turn 2 incident.
Okay, I'll drive faster.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah, that's my bad. I'll make up for it.
A nice, calm pit stop, no risks here, and just maintain the position. You know, he was 9.2 seconds ahead of Max before Max came in for his own stop. Valtteri pretty comfy there, 2.7, a good stop from Mercedes. This is Albon. He's got DRS now on Giovinazzi as they head down towards turn
This could be tight.
13.
This could be tight. He gets squeezed a little bit, Alex Albon, towards the wall there as Giovinazzi tries to put up a defence but doesn't get squeezed enough. Giovinazzi might just make a move here on the Haas as down towards turn 2 we go. Grosjean's going to have to watch himself as round the outside goes Antonio Giovinazzi. Nice move from the Italian there. Here goes Sebastian Vettel down the inside of Romain Grosjean. They have to go wheel to wheel and Grosjean goes off the track, and that is what they ask you to do. Well, not completely in the race director's notes, and Grosjean knew that he couldn't come back onto the track and fight that because he'd gone off and he had to go through the bollards. Right, now you asked what was going to happen to those bollards. They've just deployed the virtual safety car and they'll replace the
red
bollards.
flag, let's have another start.
And here comes Pierre Gasly for another change of tyres. And I wonder if they made that call at AlphaTauri thinking the VSC might be around for a bit longer.
Yeah, I think they've misjudged how long that VSC was out for, because he's going to drop down the order.
It's round the little kink that is turn 1 they go, and down towards the heavy braking zone of turn 2, and there goes Alex Albon around the outside of Lando Norris. Norris breaks that little bit later and manages to fend off Alex Albon. Now is Albon compromised a bit to allow Pierre Gasly to come back in and through turn 3 as Albon still trying to make the move on Lando Norris. Norris is putting that McLaren in a very nice position to make that defensive 9th place, and he is thwarting the 2 cars behind him. Still, Alex Albon is trying to make his way round, and he's going to have to watch it a little bit as Alex Albon, because Gasly is absolutely chomping at the bit. As now, here goes Albon once again. Very rare you see a move going into turn 10, but on that occasion Albon tried it, didn't quite come off.
You see the light flashing on the back of Norris's car. I think he deployed a lot of energy. There's Gasly to the left there as he Albon defends to the inside. Gasly's going to have a run on him on this DRS zone, Crofty.
And Lando Norris is that much further ahead, so Alex Albon, after attack, now looks to defence. Couldn't make the attack, couldn't make the defence, and he's dropped down into 11th place. Here we go again then for round 2. We're on board with Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris is passed by the AlphaTauri, and Gasly makes the move into turn 2 with plenty of time to spare. You can see how Norris is struggling. Oh, that isn't going to get him close enough, but Lando Norris locks up at the end of the back straight. And that big lock up there from Lando Norris has allowed Alex Albon to get past, and he locks up once more for good measure. The only man to be on the podium in the last 3 Russian Grand Prix. He's on the podium this afternoon, and it's the top step of the podium as Valtteri Bottas wins the Russian Grand Prix. He now starts to close the gap in the championship to his teammate. Max Verstappen finishes 2nd for Red Bull, and another super drive from him. And for Lewis Hamilton, I think he's been told just to back off a bit by his team and not risk the engine on that final lap. He comes home to take 3rd place. It's a podium, not the record equaling win that he would have hoped for when he started from pole. Bottas, Verstappen, Hamilton for the 6th time in 2020.
Yes, mate! Get in there!
Yes! Yeah! I think again is a nice moment to thank my critics, to whom it may concern. You.
Cracking job, Max. Pretty happy with that. Nice one, P2. Yeah, well done, Max. That was a great job. Well done. You got everything you could out of it today.
Yeah, we split the 2 cars again, so not bad result that. Good job.
Never give up.
Indeed, never give up, mate.
Well, this has been a very good weekend for Valtteri Bottas, not getting the pole, but doing what he did in 2017, winning here from 3rd on the grid. Maybe as he rightly said, Karun, it's not the track you want to take pole. But behind Hamilton, Perez, 4th, his first top 4 finish of the season. Daniel Ricciardo in 5th. It's a 4th consecutive top 6 finish this season for Ricciardo. It's the best ever finish for him here in Sochi as well. Charles Leclerc, best result for Ferrari since the 70th anniversary Grand Prix at Silverstone. Esteban Ocon making it a very good day in terms of points for Renault. Racing Point, McLaren have 106, Racing Point 104, Renault 99. in that championship battle now. That's really tight. Daniel Kvyat, another top 8 finish for him ahead of Gasly, so a decent afternoon for AlphaTauri.